Hola, bon dia, alegria. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. Wow, it's Friday, and I have to just share with you that it's a bit more of a relaxing morning. It was an intense evening last night when the Alentejo and the north of Portugal and Lisbon and the Tejo Valley went head-to-head in the boxing ring. I don't know if you've ever seen a boxing match with three men in the ring, but that's what happened last night. And the excellent gentlemen who are Michael Heron, who was, it turns out, was victorious representing Lisbon and the Tejo Valley, and will go on to meet Jerry in the final against Central Portugal. So that's the big final to look out for the best place to live in Portugal. And I will be asking my guest, Mia Esmeriz, who will be talking to us about learning European Portuguese, what her favourite part of Portugal is. I've got a feeling it might be the north, which was very well represented by Mark Rigby last night. Great job, Mark. Superb, really good. You managed to sing the praises of the underestimated and quietly noble part of Portugal that is Porto and the north. And of course, for Alentejo, Neil Perkins did the most amazing job with his poetic turn of phrase, talking about the people, the place, and just the beauty, the poetic beauty of the Alentejo. So all winners in a sense, and we just made it more difficult for people to decide where to live in Portugal, basically. Sorry about that. The idea was to find out the best place, and people were going, I could live in all three. These all three places sound amazing, and that's where you're at with Portugal, everybody. And I'll put the replay of that up on our screen later on today, up on our YouTube channel, I mean. Hola, bon dia from Oregon, from Pam E. Let's say a few hellos before we say hello to Mia this morning in Porto. Hola, bon dia from sunny California, from Hank. So Hank and Pam are here, and they're checking the weather out in each other's respective parts of California. Yes. No, sorry. I beg your pardon. On the west coast there. Is the sun shining in California, Hank? Asks Pammy in Oregon. It hasn't come up to Oregon yet. Isn't that sweet? Little weather check stateside there. Good morning from Washington, D.C. So the Americans in the house this morning. I think I managed this okay. It's Linguistic Friday. Mia would know exactly how to say this with just one look at it. Suvanavong. I'm going to go with Suvanavong, yeah. And she's asking, is it 5 a.m. EST there? I say 9 o'clock's early enough for me after the wine club last night, as well as that three men in the ring bout. Bon dia from Julia as well. Julia McIntyre's here. Good morning, Julia. Bon dia from Milda. Finnish Milda is here. Bon dia to you. And yesterday's guest, Vinny Vengeance, is in, or Denise, or both. Good day all from New Zealand. Bon dia to you both. Paul and Louise are here from the kitchen table. Bon dia, Alegria is there greeting. And here he is, the man of the moment. And really well done last night, Mark. You represented your part of the country proudly. You've only been there since November of last year. You did a cracking job. Bon dia from a currently overcast Povo de Vagim this morning. So great. Thank you, Mark, for taking part. Good morning, everybody, from Gemini Bradshaw to Joel up there in Matosinhos. We'll see you tonight for the Man Cave, Joel. Bon dia from my home office, says Paulo Simoes. If the boss is watching, Paulo is busy at work at the home office. Paul Richards, greetings from Aragot. Great debate last night. 3 fine ambassadors for their regions, all winners, showing their love for different parts of Portugal. Absolutely well said, Paul. And Penny is here. She was at the wine club last night with her glorious pink fizz that was a sensation from the Barrada region. Bon dia, alegria. Wet and windy here in Brixham. Happy Friday. Great choice, Penny, over there in the UK. Picking some great Portuguese wines. You really are. Bon dia from spring-like Stockholm. 13 degrees in Stockholm this morning and above by the sound of it. Thanks, Anna, for tuning in from Sweden. Good morning from Gary Austin, also live from the Man Cave, and lovely Alvazra last night with Linda. I think Linda really enjoyed the pink fizz. It took us by surprise. It really did. From the São Domingos what do we call them? Winery, producer of the Barrada. And look, I'm going to move on at some point to their non-pink, their standard. I don't suppose there's anything standard about this, but their lovely fizz, which I bought as well. Looking forward to that. Bon dia from Jeff Jackson as well. Good morning to you, Jeff. And nice weather report from Hank in California there. Bon dia da Nazare, again from Dina. Good morning to you, Dina or Dinah. I'm not sure. There, you might be able to phonetically correct me on that. Bon dia from Dubai this morning. We'll get to you soon, Mia. Sorry about this, but so many people around the world have tuned in to see you. Actually, let's bring you on screen and you can say hello to them as well. Bonjour from Lily.
Hello.
How are you this
Bon
morning?
dia.
Isn't this lovely? Stockholm, America,
Lovely.
Dubai this morning, New Zealand, fantastic. Here to see you. You're back again talking to us about learning European Portuguese. It's wonderful to have your company, it really is. And we would ask people to sign up to your free course at the very minimum. And then we'll be talking about the other courses that you offer. But to do that, folks, go to the link in the comments in our business directory /Mia Esmeriz. Have I got that right?
Esmeriz.
Esmeriz, of course, that's what I meant to say.
It's a very hard name, don't worry. I don't mind.
It always helps me when people say it's even hard for Portuguese people to say it.
It is. It totally is, so don't worry.
Oh, I'm going to go with that. Thank you. That's very kind of you. So Mohammed is in Dubai. Lily is it maybe in France? I don't know, but just trying out a bonjour with us this morning. Doreen Reyes, bon dia, alegria. That's what we've been saying, Mia, since you were last here. Everyone says bon dia, alegria.
Bon dia, alegria.
Bon dia from Sunny Teixeira. Love Mia and Carl, of course. So you got some fans in already. Donna loves you.
Donna. Hola.
Peter Robinson, bon dia from Perafita. Denise, I love it when people have their business names up on here and give themselves a little plug. Denise H, Upcycled Fashions here as well. Yes, we are both here. Oh, yes, so that would be Mrs. Vengeance, which has got a kind of ring to it as well. Denise, good morning. Hi to all our friends in Portugal. I'm guessing that's your side hustle, Upcycled Fashion. Very good. Hi to all our friends in Portugal on Facebook and in the YouTube stream. And Mia has a YouTube channel that we must talk about as well this morning. Hello from Italy this morning. How's everything going in Italy? Memini de Alexia. Buongiorno to you. Bon dia dos Obidos from Jacqueline Branco as well. Yeah, Obidos is amazing, isn't it? You are right. That is an artillery shell of a bottle of wine. Yeah, you can barely lift these Espumant bottles up. They really are a doorstop, or an artillery shell, as you refer to them there, Gary. So, I'm not feeling too bad this morning, I have to say. Sometimes the old fizz does the biz, but can leave you with a terrible hangover. Not feeling too bad this morning. So, Mia, how are you? What you been up to? How are you coping with this?
What have I been up to? I'm just working, being at home, sometimes going with my dog for a walk, and that's pretty much what we can do at the moment. So, but trying to keep my spirits up and waiting for this virus to say goodbye.
Yeah, that's putting it politely, isn't it? I think a lot of people would like to be a whole lot stronger on the virus than that.
I know, yeah, exactly. But you know, if the people behave, the virus will also behave. But I know it's so hard right now. So
it is. And the key is, of course, we need to have a confined Easter, don't we? And then we'll see what happens after that. And then May the 3rd. Yeah, hopefully May the 3rd.
After that, we can go and do at least start opening up everything slowly. So that's my hope. That's my hope.
Me too. Get back to doing the things that we love to do in
Portugal.
Okay, so it's a bit of a Q&A this morning, as ever. Where people suddenly think to themselves, what was that thing I was trying to say? Or what was that thing I heard? Or what was that thing I read? Mia's here to help. So do fire the questions into the comments about what to say and when to say it and who to say it to. Obviously, very important in Portuguese as well to get the right word for the right gender. And age group and all those sorts of cultural binaries that we have to pay attention to as well. Joel, always the bearer of good news. Looks like lockdown will be extended to April 15th. Thanks, Joel. But thank you for keeping us abreast of things. We will see. Absolutely. Everyone's watching on 10 Hooks day by day. So thanks for that, Joel. And we'll see you tonight. We'll talk about that more in the man cave.
My mother also said the same. So I don't know. Maybe it's true.
And we know Portuguese.
I think the emergency state is until the 15th. Of April.
That's right. That's right.
But I think that the rest will slowly start opening on the 5th of April, hopefully. So
yes, and then by May the 4th be with us. Hopefully by May the 4th we will have better news as well. Okay, so it's at least given you the chance to be locked into your office, creating
Yes.
loads more wonderful resources and materials for people to learn European Portuguese. What new things have you got? I understand you've been working hard on your YouTube channel, and you had a lovely film that you put up the other day.
I don't know if you saw my video with my father in Portuguese speaking about wine. Did you see that?
I saw it and I saved it, but I haven't watched it yet. But I thought, what a lovely idea.
Yeah, so my father worked with wine like almost his whole life. Actually, he's still working, like he has a small company. So for those who are listening, whoever wants to import wine from Portugal, they can contact me as well, because my father is doing that. So just a little publicity.
Yes, for sure. We need to taste his wine on the wine club. I would love to do that. I think the Doc Thompson will be watching. He's the secretary of the wine club. He will be in touch. What a lovely idea.
Yeah, so my father is I say he's an expert. He says, no, I'm not an expert. No one is an expert. You know, you're always learning. But compared to me, he's an expert, absolutely. And so we were doing this kind of video and people really liked it. We were just having a conversation about a topic in Portuguese. And of course, it was about Portuguese wines and specifically Douro wines. Douro is here in the north of Portugal, right? Which, by the way, I have to say, yes, it's my favorite part of Portugal. So, but yeah, and also we were speaking about port wine. And people just loved it. So my YouTube is Mia Esmeriz Academy. So it's the same name I have here.
All right, I think we need a link to that. So while you're talking and telling us possibly a little bit more about why you love the north so much, and maybe a bit more about the Douro Valley, I'll find that link and I'll pop it in the comments. So
okay.
Is it because, you know, that's where you were born and that's, you know, all your family connections are in the north? Is that what you love?
Yeah, so I think a big part of it is that. So I am a bit biased, but come on, did you look at Porto, how beautiful it is? No, like obviously I'm biased, as I said, but I do like other regions in Portugal. It's funny because the regions that didn't win supposedly yesterday are my favorite regions. So the north of Portugal and Alentejo, I love it. Not that I don't like the other regions, I do as well. I think it's very hard to decide if you want to come and live in Portugal, basically, in my opinion.
In many ways, it just doesn't make it easier when we do these things. I mean, it's such fun and you learn so much about Portugal, but you can end up in a state of confusion about, you know, that makes the process worse. So it's kind of like a good problem to have, isn't it? It's not as if people come to Portugal and go, you know, there aren't enough nice places to choose from. It's the absolute opposite. You're going to have paralysis by analysis, I think.
Yeah, that's it. What I was saying to you before we came live, it's the only con I see in the north of Portugal is the weather sometimes, because especially here in the coast, because we do have gray days and cold days more than in the south. That doesn't mean we don't have good weather here. We do, but yeah, it's especially the wind here by the coast, you know. So people who don't like wind maybe should go more south. That's my my advice. But you know, the beauty and everything else, for me, it compensates. So.
All right, superb. Okay, so we know where your heart lies then in terms of the best part of Portugal.
Porto, you know, we normally say Porto is not a city, is a feeling. So, you know,
very nice.
Yeah, I have like, I don't know. It's a feeling I can't explain. I am so connected, and I think Porto inhabitants are so connected to the city somehow. Maybe because it's such an old city and it has so much history. So I don't know. It's like it's a passion you have.
No, I really get it, and it has a strong. I've been to San Francisco as well, and fortunately, luckily, and there are certain cities around the world that kind of hit you with a feeling. You're absolutely right. San Francisco did that for me, and I know I felt it in Porto as well. When I've driven in across the bridge, you know, it comes if you're coming up from the south and you cross the river on that amazing bridge. That you get the Porto feeling there, don't you? For sure.
Ponte Dom Luís.
Don Luís. Yep.
And like this, for me, it's one of the most beautiful views you can have. Yeah, if you come from the south and you cross the bridge, exactly.
It's an amazing way in. And then when you're in town and you're walking by the river, again, you get the Porto feeling by the river, because it's built on the river, isn't it? And all of its life and culture and evolution, really, I guess, has come from the river as well. So you just feel that it's just in you, around you immediately down by the river.
Yeah, exactly. Because back in the days, all the business and everything was like around the river, right? So I think I don't know if it's like the soul of the city is around here, around that area. So I don't know. I really love the city, as you can tell.
I can tell, and I think you're right. Okay, so first questions coming. Well, there's a couple of questions. We'll come back to that actually, because the first request is get me as pie on the wine show, please. So
you would for sure accept it, I guess.
So we can say Mia said you would do it. So that then we'll say, okay, if she says I'll do it, I'll do it. He won't refuse you. He might refuse us, but I'm sure he won't refuse you. So I think it's a deal. Fantastic. I'll talk to him about that'll be beautiful to talk to your father on our wine show on a Thursday night. So that's great. We'll get our people to talk to your dad's people about that. First question from the kitchen table of Paul and Louise in the UK. Is the pronunciation of adega, is it adiga or adega?
It's more towards adega, so the first one.
Adega.
I would say open the E a little bit more. So I say adega. Adega.
Okay, so don't forget to make the shapes, everybody. It's really important. Don't be restrained. Make the mouth shapes when you're doing the Portuguese language. It's pretty difficult for the stiff upper lip British.
There are sounds that are very difficult in Portuguese, and I can understand that. I have a course all on the sounds of Portuguese. So
of course you do. You've got every angle covered. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, try.
Go to our business directory, do sign up, and the first level is free, working with Mia, which is a lovely offer as well. Okay, so more comments coming in. I think we've got people trading insults. I don't know if I need to read those out. Nothing as exciting and impressive as an Atlantic storm to liven you up a bit. So you get that excitement. Where they've got the earthquake tremors in Lisbon, you've got the occasional Atlantic storm to spice life up a bit. Sounds good.
I love the winter at the beach here. Actually, it's so peaceful and at the same time so strong. Like to look at the sea and seeing the winter sea. I really
there is a romance. There is a romance about on a winter beach, isn't there? It's you can imagine yourself there being in the summer and enjoying it, but like being there.
You mean there's a romance? Okay, I thought you were saying there is a. My Portuguese brain twisted your words. I heard like there's a novel about it. That's what I heard, because novel in Portuguese is romance.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So my brain was mixed up.
But you get what I mean. People.
Yeah, I get what you mean now. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
I imagine where you have the students with those long capes, the woolen capes. If you were stood, facing the Atlantic storm coming in one of those long woolen black capes there, and just huddling up. I think it's amazing. Summer and winter on the coast there, absolutely. So you've got a subscription already. I have put that comment, or I have put the connection. I think I did anyway. They all move so fast these days. I can barely keep up. Yes, I did. Expats Portugal link there to Mia's YouTube channel there. So
please subscribe, so it helps me grow as well and continue making this content.
Yeah, it's starting to happen in there. So people are doing that this morning, and they'll get lovely content like you speaking to your dad. What have you got planned next? Can you give that secret away? Your next production for your YouTube channel?
I don't. I'm not a. You mean like? Can you ask again? Sorry.
What's your next? What's going to be your next release on your YouTube channel?
My next release. Well, I'm still working on it. But like for example, my father and I are planning on continuing. For example, speaking about another type of wine. So now we spoke about Douro wine. Many people asked us after this video to speak about Vinho Verde, which is the green wine.
Oh yes.
Right? And so we're I'm planning on doing more like this with my father. I'm also planning, I'm trying to convince actually my mother to speak about Portuguese cuisine. Because
Oh,
she is
yes.
an excellent cook, you know. But she's
Yes.
like, oh no, I'm not good in video. I don't want to speak about, I don't want to be on camera. But I'm trying to convince her. So
Well, we'll do that. Well, if you let her know. Yeah, say the Good Morning Portugal community. I don't know if it was to put her off. If you say there are people in America, New Zealand, and Dubai who want to meet her, that might be even more scary. But if we would love to meet your mum and your dad, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to do this video there with her, and yeah. So I will try to tell her this that people are looking forward. The only thing is, I don't know. There are different levels here, probably beginners, intermediate, and advanced. I don't know, but like if you're an intermediate, it's okay because I'm doing these videos in Portuguese because I also feel that it's good for the people to hear Portuguese. And yeah, I'm trying to put subtitles and like some visual cues, you know, to help people understand. And I give some definitions of the words. But in general, it's Portuguese. I don't know if in the future a lot of beginners tell me, can you also do in English? I would, but yeah, I think it's also important to have some videos in Portuguese, at least entirely in Portuguese, and that's what I'm doing.
And I think you can watch them a few times, can't you? Pick up the cues that and clues that
And
you're
like,
giving. Great idea.
With food is also a bit easier, I think, because you see it and you kind of, you know, my mom probably will explain something, but I'm still convincing her, so don't get your hopes too high, but I'm trying.
We have every Monday we're on a food tour, a virtual food tour with our wonderful friend Frank. I hope you're feeling better this morning. He didn't make it to the wine club last night, but I hope you're feeling better, Frank. Now, if she watches me and Frank talking about Portuguese food, she might be so angry with our pronunciation and our mistakes and our assumptions that we make. Okay, give me the number. I'm going to get on that show and tell them the right way to do these things. So that could be another angle in as well. But we would love to meet your mum and your dad, I think it's safe to say. Ian Turner, Bunda, great battle last night. Entertainment in our parliament yesterday. This is in the UK. My MP said we have to carry a pint of milk as a protest. Who knew? That's interesting. Eggs are usually better, aren't they, in a protest? But maybe a pint of milk. Are we back to the milkshake thing when people were chucking milkshakes over each other about 5 years ago, I think? Good morning. Good. It's a waste of food, though. Portuguese people will not approve of that, wasting food. Good morning, Carla Mia. What are the Portuguese personality differences in the different areas of Portugal? What a great question. More of a cultural than a linguistic. So I think that's probably a little bit of a nod to the north. And people in Porto are different to the Lisboetas, right?
This is such a tricky subject for me to talk about because I'm gonna sound like super come to the north. Like, no, like I've heard, okay, seriously, honestly.
That's a good way of putting it.
No, but it's true. It's true. Many people told me that, for example, if you compare Porto and Lisbon, that people in Porto are more open and friendly than in Lisbon. Doesn't mean that all Lisbon people are unfriendly. I just want to say it here and now. But people from the north are generally said to be more open. People from the area of Lisbon are generally I don't want to say less open and less friendly because this sounds really bad. I think we in general Portuguese people are friendly, right? But
yes,
maybe
definitely.
because Lisbon is the capital, it's a bigger city, a bit more international, maybe it's a little bit different, the way of treatment, you know.
Really? No problem with that. You know, it's the same in any country, isn't it? You know, the New Yorkers are different to the Californians, and the Londoners are different to the people of Scotland, for example. So, yeah, no offense taken there. I think you're right. It's a bit.
I hope.
In the capital as well, it's like chop, busy. Come on, you know,
that's what I wanted to say. I always get the feeling when I'm there that people are very busy, you know, like they don't have time. And maybe therefore they come across as a bit less friendly. But I have cousins, I have family there. You know, I go to Lisbon. I like Lisbon. I'm not an anti-Lisbon person. I just want to say that. It's a beautiful city. But in my opinion, and for me, I like more the way of people here around Porto and the north area.
Yes.
For example, people from Alentejo are again very friendly. So I don't know. It's totally different. Again, I think because of the pace of life in Alentejo, they take their time, you know, like I find that they are more like down to earth and like, yeah, let's enjoy. And that's my feeling. I agree.
That
I
sounds right to
accept
me.
if other people don't have this feeling.
No, I think that's very fair. And people are products of their landscape and environment and context, aren't they?
Yeah.
And like, you know, you
Exactly.
can see that, can't you? When you look at those beautiful plains of the Alentejo and the cork and the, I think, you know, even rice is grown in the Alentejo. You know, this is an agricultural, a very rural place, and the people seem to be sunny and friendly and warm, and that have that pace of life. They're in tune with the seasons. You know, in the capital, people are in tune with business and the clock, aren't they? And you know, the kind of man-made culture. And then in the Alentejo, people are more in tune with natural cycles and rhythms.
Yeah.
So when you go further north, then up to, you know, Trás-os-Montes, are people like the same as they are in the Alentejo, but they've got more coats on?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can say something like that. Yeah, they have many more coats on. Yeah,
More
in
warm.
winter.
Yes.
Because in summer, some parts of the interior, like Trás-os-Montes, I should have said this before, because in the north, in summer, in the interior parts, it's also really hot, like in Bragança, for example. It can be really warm. So, yeah, we also have summer here. But as I said, in the coast, it's a bit more windy.
Yes.
But yeah, but in general, you can say that people from Trás-os-Montes are like, I like that definition, like people from Alentejo with more coats on and a different accent, little bit of a different accent.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? They say, well, this is what I've heard. I mean, I probably wouldn't know the difference between the two accents, but yeah, that makes sense as well, doesn't it? Because, you know, this is an ancient place, isn't it? And if you go over towards the Spanish border, you're almost getting a bit of a Spanish influence there as well.
Yeah, there is a special language that is unfortunately disappearing, which is Mirandês. And that's a mix. This is like a very general definition, and probably people could interpret it wrong, but I want to say it's a mix between Portuguese and Spanish. So it's like almost like the primitive language that we had here, which was the I don't know how to say this word in English, Galician Portuguese.
Yes.
So it's I don't know, it's really interesting. It's a very interesting dialect. And I wish I knew it. I don't.
Okay, for sure. Maybe one day, maybe you'll do your PhD in that or something. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Okay, so a great question there from Shelley. And good morning to you, Shelley. Thank you for that. Ian agree totally about San Francisco and Porto. I don't know why I said that. It just came to me, Ian. A real feel for a culture. And from Nepal this morning as well. Portugal. I love Portugal. I'm learning Portuguese language too. But sad point is that I've no friends for practice. Just a YouTube video. Okay. Well, there's lots of people here, Saman, who I think might be happy to get on a Zoom call and practice a bit with you. Absolutely. So you needn't be without friends, my friend. And thank you for showing up again as you have this morning. Paul and Louise, our Portuguese neighbours speak a patois that is different to the local town. That is only they've got their own village language there by the sound of it. That's very possible as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Portugal is such a small country, but has so many different accents and everything. I like that.
Let us know where that is, Paul and Louise, roughly speaking. I think that's central Portugal, isn't it?
I'm sorry about my dog. She's someone knocked at the door and now she's barking. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. No, this is life in lockdown. We've all got to know each other's pets and children and partners and so on. So absolutely no problem at all. And if your dog comes anywhere near you, we'd love to meet her as well.
Oh yeah, I can call her.
When she's doing her job, she's doing her job at the moment.
Yeah, she has a problem with the bells. If anyone knows how to solve this.
I think you've got that's it now. That she has a Pavlovian response to the bell. So she's your protector. That's what she's just doing her job.
I know she is. She does that a lot.
Hola, bon dia from Neil Xiao Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Is that somebody who is sort of part European and part Chinese there? Very possibly. Okay. Definitely subbed on Mia's channel. How could you not? That's a really great. That's really good way of putting it. Less than 10 clicks. What to find it? I think, or maybe that's something else there. I subbed Project Frugal too. So many vids to catch up on over the spring break. We are making so many wonderful friends, aren't we? In our little community and network here. It's brilliant. Like any country, say Paul and Louise, there are regional and local accents. Maybe Mia can say something about this for us learners. Anything we missed there then, talking about the cultural differences? Could you give us some examples of differences in the way a word is pronounced, maybe from Lisbon to Algarve to the north?
Okay, from Lisbon to Algarve, it's a bit in Lisbon they are like, okay, from Porto and Lisbon is easier for me, okay, because since I'm from Porto, like for example, we pronounce the vowels, like we pronounce them more here, like for example in the word, let's say the word Lisbon, okay, here I say Lisboa. You hear the boa?
Yeah.
Lisboa. There they say Lisboa. Lisboa. Do you see the difference?
No.
Okay, so let's try again. Porto is
Yeah.
Lisboa.
Lisboa. Oh, okay, so there's a lilt on the O. Lisboa.
Like yeah, exactly. We prolong the O, like, and we make it into almost like a diphthong. A diphthong is when you have two vowels together.
Got it.
So
Okay.
we put there an U after almost, and it's like oh.
Okay, gotcha. Lisboa.
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 Okay.
And then the Lisboetas?
The Lisboetas, they kind of make it smaller, the sound, and it's like faster.
Okay.
Maybe it has to do with the culture again.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So it's Lisboa. It's more like oh. You know, Lisboa, Lisboa.
I get a sense of that. Okay, so let's.
You understand now?
I do. What I love as well locally, and where I've lived, and I lived in a few different places in Portugal now, is Bom dia, and how older folks, you'll get you'll get a very clear, I'll say to somebody, "Hola," in the street or in a shop, and then they'll come back with "Hola, bom dia," and I'm thinking, oh, I'm supposed to say all three words. I've made a mistake. I've made a cultural faux pas by not. Have I been too familiar by just saying "Hola"? And then there'll be an old man walking down the street, yeah, and it would, yeah, and there are like hundreds of different ways of just saying "Bom dia," and there's like a long "Bom dia," and then somebody "Bom dia," and or "Hola." And so what is right there, or is that a place where you can choose for yourself which one you go with?
So I don't think so. There is no right or wrong. If you say like bon dia, you're trying to be more empathic somehow, like pronouncing your words, having more time again. If you say like bon dia, it's more, let's say, polite and curt, like more to the point. It's like
I'm British.
So, but I don't think there is a right or wrong. It's it's a feeling you get, if you're in a place that you think you can take your time to say bon dia, then go for bon dia.
I think that sounds a lovely thing to do, because if you have you ever seen Faulty Towers? John Cleese would say "Hola, bon dia," and it would just be that be the British way, "Bon dia." But if you let yourself go a little bit in Portugal, and you can go around the street and see an old man or old lady say "Hola, bon dia," and you can say a lot, can't you, with that inflection? So that's I love that. I really do.
We also say sometimes just sorry, for example, to say boa tarde sometimes here in Porto. I don't know if in other places, but here we sometimes just say boas.
Oh, really?
Because it comes from boas tardes. Sometimes people do that. Boas tardes, boas tardes. Okay. And then they just, make it even short, and it's like boas. But it's more like with your friends or something, like boas. Okay.
Try that. That's your homework, or part of your homework, because we might have some more today. But try all of those, please. And it's a pleasure and a joy to try these things out. It is for me anyway. So give it a go. Hope that helps, Paul and Louise. And I'm sure it will be, again, like you say, that it's a cultural reflection, isn't it? So in the Alentejo, I imagine people are more leisurely with their greetings and so on.
The Alentejo, they speak slower in general, I think. Like, it's so nice. I don't know, they will say like "boa tarde, Zezinho." You know, we had even a publicity, an ad on TV some years ago that was like about this calmness of the Alentejo people, and like there was a boy passing with a bicycle and saying "boa tarde, Manelli," because they add some vowels also at the end sometimes, and then you would see like the day going, and then it was almost night, and then Timanel actually answers and says boa tarde, Zezinho. It was super exaggerated, obviously, but it was kind of saying the Alentejo people speak slow and they take their time, like they enjoy. So I quite like that.
Yeah, it's heartwarming, isn't it?
Yeah.
On this matter of extending words, then, when I was in San Martin de Porto.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I heard some people in the shop, so it's like obrigado, and then the guy said obrigadinho, and then the woman said obrigadissimo. And so, is it like a battle to see who can make the longest word from a word, and how people say goodbye?
Yeah, obrigado. It's just different ways of saying it. It's really obrigadíssimo is thank you very, very much. Muito obrigado. It's also thank you very much. I have a blog post about this topic actually with all the words. I can try to send
that's
you.
Fantastic. All right.
But like it's just different ways of saying it. It's and all are right. And of course we tend to eat words and vowels, especially. So the brigad,
yes,
you will hear a lot. So
yes, no, I do like that, and I've noticed that. But I just it's almost like wordplay between people, isn't it? It's a way of putting an extra amount of emotion into words, really, with these extensions. So if you can find that blog, that'd be great. I love the sight and thundering sounds of the oversized waves crashing on the shore. This is in North Portugal. You would think it sounds somewhat aggressive, but is surprisingly calming. I think you're having a great time. The hashtag GOL, the gentleman of leisure that is Mark Rigby, is having a lovely time in northern Portugal. Sean, morning to you, Sean Maguire. Big love for Porto, absolutely. Mark Rigby, the benefits of being less than 2 minutes from the beach at Porto. You're a lucky man for sure. We need an Expats Portugal cruise in the Douro when this is over. Hank, you're on. That sounds like such fun. It really does. And we could have we could have different sort of modules, couldn't we? We could start the day with a bit of language and culture and gradually unwind and wine tasting. And that sounds really, really good. Gary, Mia, if I can come on the show with an accent like mine, your mother will have no problem at all. Now, are you familiar with Birmingham in the UK?
Yeah.
And the Peaky Blinders, and that's the accent.
I know this accent. It's super cool.
Gary wasn't expecting that.
I'm a weirdo, I think, because I really like different accents. I think it's so beautiful because it brings so much diversity. Otherwise, we would be speaking all the same way, and I find that a bit boring, honestly.
Very true. Very wise. And so what we'll do from Gary there is if you could just pop a phonetically constructed sentence that is a classic greeting in Birmingham, we can give that to Mia as a little gift today. John's here, possibly Meryl as well from our Ask Our Expats team. Fine bunch of people. If you hire any of the Ask Our Expats team and you hire John and Meryl, you get 2 for the price of 1 there, and they'll tell you all about the Algarve. Listening is for me the hardest skill in learning Portuguese. It's good to have reliable translations rather than YouTube. Yes, that's going to be a disaster when YouTube does its automatic.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm actually trying now to put subtitles. Some of my videos have subtitle captions. I don't know what's the difference between subtitles and captions. I always have these problems. I don't know. Do you know what's the difference? Is there a difference in English between captions and subtitles?
Normally a subtitle would be a translated version, and I think a caption would be as much as possible a verbatim, for people who can't hear it, they can see it. So
Aha.
I think it's the translation aspect that will make the difference, possibly.
Thank you for that.
Not at all.
But I'm trying to put subtitles and captions, everything in my videos, so people can understand it better.
This is what was so great about your approach. You're so thoughtful, I think, from the point of view of the person who's desperately trying to learn. You go, Mia. The North is great. So yeah, Mark's delighted to have an ally in you, I think, this morning. Looking, Mia, talking trash. I think there's a Californian thing that we will have translated for us there. It's maybe a song line or something from Hank. Already a big fan of yours. It's the same all over. We Northerners in the UK, I'm from Manchester, are friendlier than, there we go. This is exactly what Mia was trying to avoid, I think. Are friendlier than the Southerners. I resent that. I might do a Piers Morgan as somebody from the South, Peter, and I find the Porto residents in the office are friendlier than those from Lisbon. Well, you're speaking from personal experience there, so who can doubt you? I mean, if that's
people from Kent won't be very pleased, or from.
That's my wife. She's from Kent, the Garden of England. So I'll have to.
There.
Thanks, Peter. You've been to Kent. What was your impression of Kent?
I liked it a lot. It was so idyllic somehow. I was in Tunbridge Wells.
Oh, yes. Know? Oh, yes. Well, it's a very beautiful part of Kent and the UK, in actual fact. Yes. Yeah, very good. I would have said worse. That was actually very tame. As Joel is whipping the community crowd up into a frenzy, I think, with his political views, possibly. Bon dia from Flanders. From
Maybe it was about the virus. I don't know.
It often is. It doesn't take much to get Joel started, and that's why we love him so much. He is a northern man and Portuguese, and very straight, like you say, very, very, very friendly and very honest and direct, which I think is another characteristic of the northern male in Portugal. Mia, your course is very clear and super good. We're also following a physical course. Yours is better, so I haven't had time to give feedback yet, but I will. Thank you, Jenny, for that.
That's what I think. Sometimes people are afraid of taking online courses because my courses are online, but I think that sometimes when you want to first learn the language, you have the time, you have the flexibility, you can go at your own pace, you can stop, go back, do it again. Which in a classroom setting, many times you can't, and you don't even get to speak that much because there are so many people. So just give it a try and see if you like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And go to, let me just put the link up again for you latecomers. I think we've got the description of the language you were talking about, the ancient language, but I need to find so many wonderful comments this morning. Thank you very much, everybody. But right at the start, you'll see expatsportugal.com/business-directory, and you'll find Mia's resources there, and you'll be able to get into that at free entry level and then access to, I think Mia's going to tell us about a webinar, right?
I have a free webinar. All right. At the moment, so when you want me to say it, I'll say
that'll be great. What I want people to do is sign up so they get you the alerts about that, ideally. So and have a look while you're there in our business directory, because there's a lot of good value for you there. Okay, and now I've lost my place in the. Oh, here we go. Joel, Gallego or
Gallego. That's what I was trying to say. The Galician Portuguese. I think that's why he wrote Gallego. Galego is actually the language, the dialect spoken in Galicia right now. So after the north of Portugal, that little part of Spain, it's speaking Galego, which is also a mix between Spanish and Portuguese, I would say, and they have their own words and things
and culture as well, I'm sure. Yeah, thank you, Joel, for that. Always good. He's in our Portuguese pub quiz team if ever we have one. Steve, say hi, Steve. How are you doing? Carla Mia, I just wanted to say that I agree with you about Lisbon. It reminds me of London. Porto, though, is perfect. Not a fan of London by the sound of it. This is Steve, who was on. Was it Britain's Got Talent that you were on, Steve? A remarkable gentleman, and I think he upset Simon, which is great.
Yeah, it is. He's a bit of a pain, isn't he?
That's right. So well done, Steve. Great to have you here. And I know you enjoy your part of Portugal, which, as I recall and understand, it is Sesimbra, possibly, or the Arabada National Park, beautiful part of Portugal. Porto, though, is perfect, says Steve. I remember when I visited Porto, I said, if you could design a city to cater for me, Porto would be that city. So he's not a city guy by the sound of it. But if he has to go to the city, Porto it is. Hank wondering if Galego is a mixture of Gaelic and Portuguese. Very likely, isn't it? This Gallic coast of ours.
Yeah. We had so many influences here. So I'm not an expert in. Is it in Galician that he's asking about Galician, or he's asking about
Gaelic? In English, it would be called Gaelic, the language of the Celts, I think. So you've got that whole set of sea frontages that looks out across the Atlantic, and people would have sailed up and down there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with great effect.
But I was just wondering, what does Hank think it's a mix of Gaelic and Portuguese? Does he think Galician is the?
I see. Okay, yeah, very, very, very possibly. Okay, he'll get back to us, I'm sure, on that. And of course, some, not me, of course, might say the same of England, i.e., those in the north are more friendly than those in the south. No, John, we won't discuss that. I think we've touched on it, and we've caught enough cans of worms have been opened this morning. Galician.
All right.
Galician. Mark he's such a student of Portuguese life, culture, language. I think it's safe to say you're loving it here. Mark, in your few months that you've been here, Mirandes is an Asturianese.
Asturianese language, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Paolo, for making me say that out loud. Thank you for that information. I think it's only fair that Mia tries some Brummie. So there you go. Do you want to read those last 5 words?
Oh no. So are y'all right, Bab?
There you go. People in Birmingham will be delighted.
Are you all right? Are you all right, Bab? So are you all right, Bab?
I hope you'll be trying that around Porto later today. I think that you can have a lot of fun with that, basically. And
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. You might get a call from the mayor of Birmingham with that, wanting to set up some sort of twinning project, possibly Birmingham and Porto. That's not a bad match, to be fair.
No.
Alegria, Portugal weather here today for Mike in over there in Belgium, I think. If I remember, Maastricht is where you are, isn't it? We're in the lower Bear.
Nice sound.
Yes, Maastricht is a good word to conjure
Maastricht.
with. Maastricht. Okay. Yes. You speak German as well?
I speak German, and I lived in Holland for 3 years. Therefore, I've been to Maastricht, and it was hard to master. They also have a weird accent there, but let's not speak about it. Otherwise, we're here until tomorrow.
We're in Lower Beira-Beja area. So, Paul and Louise, we watched Mia's YouTube video on dog commands in Portuguese. Very good.
Yes, it was with my dog Nala, actually. She's a star.
Very useful to learn. So, andaka is probably one of them, isn't it?
Andaka. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure I said it there, but I said sienta and data and dapatinha.
That's amazing. You expats and foreigners can say, my Portuguese isn't very good, but my dog can definitely understand and speak Portuguese. Lisbon talk more like posh. Porto, on the other hand, we talk more like you're in the hood. I don't know if you'd agree with that, Mia. I see it, Carl, you caveman. I don't know what he's referring to there. Lisboa, there we go, from Dina.
Lisboa.
Very good. I also noticed people from different areas use different words for the same thing. My friend from San Miguel speak differently to people on Terceira. Hard to understand each other at times. Why did you wince there?
San Miguel, it's another level of accent. I also love it. But actually, San Miguel people, especially from certain areas, they remind me a bit of Scottish, like the Scotland, like, you know what I mean? I love it. I love Scottish, and I like people from Scotland. The way they speak is amazing. And so are people from San Miguel.
That's
interesting. Speak like these,
yes, okay, like Billy Connolly or these sorts of accents. Okay, very good, excellent. I never have made.
It's really impressive their accents. Sometimes we from the continent don't even understand. I'm not kidding. It's really different, but so amazing. I love it. I really love it.
Cool. Okay. And from Jersey this morning, bon dia to you both. From Lisa Simpson. Good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Bon dia.
Yo, bon dia, normal people way. Bon dia. More like how I say.
Dia.
Just get that B in there.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
why wasting time, right? Saying bon.
Exactly. Bon Portuguese started in the north, as Mia said. It comes straight from Galician or
Galaico.
Beg your pardon. The thing they speak down south is just adulterated Portuguese that brought us the ortográfico. So we are getting into language politics now, aren't we? I know.
I'm not getting into this, but
she won't be drawn on that, Paolo. But that has come up before. That did cause some bitterness, didn't it? The Acordo Ortográfico.
Oh yes.
It's like the Queen's English, isn't it, of Portugal. This is how you should do it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense in many aspects of it. I think it's again my personal view, but I don't see the logic in many things, and therefore I don't really like it. So
yeah, okay, fair enough. I find good afternoon, boa tarde, sounds more calming, relaxing, and friendly than bon dia. Good day, good morning. Yeah, the day is evening out, isn't it? By the time you're able to say boa tarde, and boa noite has a lovely ring to it, I think, as well. So Antonio, look at this. We're never far away from this. It's kicked off in the comments. Okay, yeah, so you're getting hearts and all the mention of brumminess and brummydom and brummy mummies, of course, coming up this morning. I'm going to go with Dinah. Loving the brummies this morning. Lived in Birmingham 15 years ago, so Dinah's got a happy memories. So Paolo and Antonio, come on, easy there. Soft.
Oh my. I said that I didn't want to get into this.
It's like, okay, the Portuguese, say for the British particularly, you hear raised voices or a disagreement between Portuguese people, and you're thinking, oh no, this is awkward, and they're just having a conversation.
Yes.
It's elevated, isn't it? And Portuguese people can be very direct with each other, as we're seeing now. Some of us are grimacing a little bit and wincing and thinking, oh dear, I hope they're going to be nice to each other. But it's just often just a verbal battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just sometimes I'm on the phone and my boyfriend is German, and now not anymore. But at the beginning, he thought I was really mad at someone. Yeah. And then he asked me, "What's up?" And I said, "What do you mean? You sounded mad." No, I was just having a conversation with my mother. What are you talking about? So
yes, there you go. Don't worry, everybody. I think Paolo and Antonio are going to be okay.
All right, North and South are perfect. We don't need to fight. It's super amazing, everything.
Yeah, who'd have thought that an Englishman would be asking Portuguese people to calm down? All right, Bab, how you going? And I up, love.
All right.
That's Yorkshire. If we're going up, love territory with you, Lisa, that's more Yorkshire, isn't it? And I'm sure Paul will have something to say about that. First, learn to open the vowels every morning. Open your vowels, everybody. It's the healthy way to learn to speak Portuguese.
But this is part of the discussion.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, they're still having a go at each other. Oh, my God. Minha amiga em Viseu.
Sorry.
You are just like someone in the Alentejo. This was funny because I came from Limburg in Flanders, and the slow culture, hospitality, and singing accent of Limburg is the same in Belgium, and they laugh with the Limburgers. Okay, so that's interesting. The Limburgers, the same as the and what do they call the Alentejo people? The Alentejo.
Alentejanos.
Thank you, Alentejanos. Perfect. Nuno's here. Wonderful talk. Good way to start the day. Good morning to you, Nuno. How are you?
Hi, Nuno.
Online course.
Nuno is my brother's name as well. Nuno, very, very Portuguese name. Nuno.
It is absolutely. Nuno's fantastic name. And I've also just want to announce quickly that I've got a new feature on the show, and this will be interesting from a language point of view. Taxi man Edmundo. We're going to be ringing up in his taxi. He's in the Algarve. He does transfers in the Algarve, and we're going to. If you go to a new culture, the best people to speak to are taxi drivers and hairdressers. Right? They know everything about an area.
Yes. They know everything about the area.
Taxi man Edmundo. It's going to be a new feature. We're going to ring him up from his taxi to find out what's going on in the Algarve. And I'm thinking we might be able to get your dad on occasionally like that, or your mum. We'll see. Online courseware, definitely has its perks. Absolutely. I speak Geneva Portuguese, a little further north than the north of Portugal. That sounds interesting. And of course, this is going to be happening all over the world with so many Portuguese people around the world. There will be new hybrids, won't there? New hybrids.
Yeah. But you know, Switzerland has a lot of Portuguese people. Like a lot of Portuguese people live there. So
and the second biggest city in Portugal is Paris, isn't it? As well,
I guess. Probably.
I've heard people say that. So there'll be a French Portuguese language as well, I suspect.
Sure.
And America, even in America, those Portuguese kids who do those fantastic comedy sketches of I think in New Jersey, they're hilarious. The north of Portugal is totally influenced by Galician. Take the B versus V. Oh yes,
exactly.
Yes, Vinho and Vinho. Vinho.
It's when I speak slowly, I don't do that. But when I'm speaking with my friends or family, I totally do that. I'm putting B's all the way.
Interesting. Okay, so another little insight there into real Portuguese for you with Mia this morning. Carl, I'm in Quinta do Conde, which is between Lisbon and Sesimbra and Setúbal. No, Setúbal. Is it all right to say Setúbal as well? Do some people say Setúbal if they're very familiar? No, okay.
I don't think so. Maybe the locals, but I'm not aware of it. No.
Okay. Ask Jose Mourinho on that. Ask Zay about that. Peter Robinson, in Porto, there's a lot of graffiti that looks like Viking runes. Is that some sort of Galician? And is there a Galician revolutionary front or something? The Galicians are coming back to take their land. are related to the general Celtic tribes, the Gauls, the Pays de Gauls, Pays de Gauls, and the Welsh in France. Amazing.
I'm not aware of a Galician Revolutionary Front in Porto. I know there is a Galician Revolutionary Front in Spain because many of the Galicians don't want to be part of Spain. So I don't know.
He's not joking, is he? I thought it was a kind of Monty Python-esque joke there, but
maybe it is as well. But in fact, it does happen in Spain that there is a I don't know. There are people who wanted to be independent from Spain. So
yeah, okay. Well, and this is happening all over the world, of course, people feeling their sense of individuality or loss of culture as well, I guess. I think there is definitely a Gaelic influence in Galicia and also parts of northern Portugal, says Mark. There are northern Portuguese bagpipes, of course, yes. And I think that's actually a weapon originally, isn't it, the bagpipe?
I don't know, was it?
Well, it strikes fear into the hearts of the enemy, I think, to hear the bagpipes coming over the hill in an assault.
Okay, makes sense.
And then the reels, the beginning of it, when it's just going before it gets in tune and gets going, it's terrifying. The reels and jigs, musical genres. Okay, so nice connections being made. Not least this one. I think we're onto something here. Twinning Birmingham and Porto, both second cities. Not that we never use that phrase, of course. And ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
Yeah, from Steve there. We also have a river. So the connections and the similarities between Birmingham and Porto are being made here, called the River Cole. Once saw a stickleback in it once, but that's about it. I think Porto wins down on all levels. Yeah, you can't go on a port tasting.
What does coal mean? Is it coal like in the coal mines?
No, it could be. I mean, it could be that, but I think coal is I mean, that's a name also. I think we'll leave that to Gary to answer that question.
Because, I just wanted to say, because actually Douro, it's the river we have here, Rio Douro. It's also the river of gold. So,
yes, of course.
It's also a material, let's say, also a...
Yeah, but it kind of says something as well, doesn't it? That the Porto has the river of gold and Birmingham has the river of coal. You are being very nice there. And of course, coal becomes diamonds eventually. Johnny, I live near to Maastricht, 30 kilometers away. They are also singing when they speak in Maastricht.
They do.
Okay. Gary Austin, Brummies and Portuguese do not use the sound of H. The similarities are remarkable. House hotel
horrible.
I did a Mia lesson on the name of country, says Kate. I think she really gets the English view of their world because England wasn't mentioned in the list of European countries. She's very diplomatic.
Sorry about that.
Similar symbols in Purvodavajim were etched into board and tools to indicate ownership. So these runes that are popping up all over the place on boats, not boards. Thanks, Mark. I remember reading about the bagpipes and that culture in northern Portugal. It was amazing. So we're up to date on the comments. Please, Mia, tell us about this upcoming webinar.
So it's actually an on-demand webinar. You can go and watch it anytime you want. I'm actually planning on going live also for my paid students, especially, but also for everyone else. I'm still going to announce that also on my Instagram. I also have an Instagram. I can write you the name here if people are also there.
Yep.
Learn EU.
Good to keep in touch that way too.
Learn EU Portuguese. It's my Instagram for those who are interested in Instagram.
Okay.
But basically, this webinar that I have is I've recorded and I speak about the 4 secrets to learning language, specifically Portuguese. And I think that if you tackle those 4 secrets, you basically are going to become fluent faster. So you can go there and, you have to sign up. It's on my main page, which I think you have it, right?
I will. Yeah, let me put that link again into, because what we'd love you to do is go via our business directory, and you'll see all our wonderful
exactly
partnerships and friendships. So let me put that link in for you now as well. Business directory.
Exactly. So through there, they will see in the main page of my school, they can sign up for the webinar and they will have access for free. There is nothing that you don't have to pay anything, and you will learn from this webinar. So you'll learn tools, you'll learn what you need to know, these 4 secrets to learning a language successfully, in my opinion, and with my experience and everything. There I am. And and then at the end, I also make an offer. So for my all-in-one Portuguese course, it has everything included. So all my core courses, the speech course where I speak about the sounds of Portuguese and how to tackle them, and the master course.
Oh, we got a freeze up there. I don't know if that's me or both. That's unfortunate. Oh, okay. So let us know in the comments, folks, who you can and can't hear at the moment. But certainly go to the business directory, sign up for Mia's academy there, and we'll just see if she comes back, or if it's me that's frozen up at my end and you can still hear Mia anyway. Cole apparently is an old Celtic word, col for hazel, so the Hazel River there in Birmingham. And what I'm going to do as well, I need to get, if we do make a connection again with Mia. So you can hear me. Interesting. Okay, so we've lost. Maybe the dog's chewed through the Wi-Fi cable for a minute. She'll be back. Thank you, everybody. So you're just letting me know what's going on there. Yeah, Mia's frozen. I'm still here. We can hear you, Carl. Thank you, everybody, for your production, your executive production. Porto is a feeling. Love that. It's great, that, isn't it, Susan? It really is. And there are the great cities of the world, I think, are like that. Kate Gimlet, Galician bagpipes are much more subtle than Scottish ones. Played tucked under the arm, like the Northumbrian bagpipes, and suited to more lyrical tunes. Love the sound when played well. So looking forward to hearing the Portuguese version. Yes. And am I right in thinking that it was part of the, sort of the arsenal of weapons as the Celts came over the hill there, Kate, or is that a misapprehension there? What I'm trying to find as well is Gary's a bit of phonetic brum, so that we can get a final send-off. So if you could deliver a phonetically set out parting greeting. That doesn't work, does it? Like a parting shot, a linguistic parting shot. How to say goodbye in Brummie, with a lovely a blessing. A Brummie, not like a Celtic blessing, but in Brum. That would be great, Gary. And if we get Mia back, we'll get her to do that. Hopefully, she will join us again soon. In the meantime, should we have a look at some weather? Let's see how the weather picture has changed because it is the day of the week. Bon fin de semana. We're heading into the weekend, and great weather was forecast for this weekend, albeit that people are locked in and under curfew as we try and get these numbers and infections down. So I will bring some weather to you and let you know that tonight, of course, at 10 o'clock, it's the man cave, the expat man cave, where men of a certain age get together and have a chat, like it's a virtual local pub, basically. And it's been a really wonderful little culture that we've created. It's not everyone's cup of tea because, you know, it can go from being sort of would-be wise elder to, oh, she's back.
Sorry about that. My computer just totally crashed. I don't know what happened.
Well, we got you back. We got you back.
No, I'm sorry. So sorry.
No, don't worry. I was just telling everybody about the Man Cave. From 10 o'clock tonight, it's your virtual local pub. Blokes hanging out, having a drink and chewing the fat and giving their view of the world. And putting the world to rights. That's the expression that's used, isn't it, down the pub? So where were we? You were talking. I was going to say.
Yeah, I was just saying about the webinar. So yeah, if you sign up, it's going to be for free. And then at the end, so I teach you the 4 secrets to learn Portuguese faster and effectively. And then at the end, I make an offer for my all-in-one Portuguese course. It's actually $400 off if you go through the webinar, and you'll have the speech course, the master course that will teach you grammar, vocabulary, culture as well through a lot of different exercises. I try to be as interactive as possible. And also story time, which is like you can learn Portuguese through Portuguese stories. And yeah, so everything in one course. And you'll also get the 6-month roadmap to fluency, which will give you a guide to learn Portuguese within 6 months. I can't guarantee you will. It's also up to the person to put in the effort and their heart on it. And if they do that, they have the tools there to learn Portuguese, at least to a certain level of good fluency in 6 months. And also they have lots of other amazing bonuses inside. So if anyone is interested, they can check the webinar, and then I'll give that offer at the end. But even if they don't buy, I think that the webinar in itself is also a good tool. And yeah, you can take a lot from it. I hope so, at least.
I'm sure people will. So there you go. Sign up via our business directory there, and we'll just take a quick look at the weather, and then we've got a Brummie send off for you to do. Are you up for that?
Yeah, sure. I probably am saying everything wrong, but anyway.
I think the Brummies are looking forward to this. When you enter Santiago de Compostela through the gates, you hear the bagpipes. Yes, I mean, it is a rousing instrument without a doubt. That's amazing, being bagpiped into the next town or whatever on your pilgrimage walk there. So let's bring onto the screen just a very quick weather check, see what the weather's going to be like this weekend. As mentioned, 21 and 22 in the capital, starting off at 10 and 12 degrees. But so a nice day today, high of 18, but 21 and 22. But look at next week, rising to 23, 24, and so forth. Porto, Mia can probably tell us this looking out of her window, but 14 the high today, 18 tomorrow, and then rising to a lovely sunny Sunday at 21. But you got 25 degrees on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm complaining about, see? I don't know.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's going to be wonderful, isn't it, to feel that on your back? 18 degrees the high today in Coimbra, and 25, 27, and 29. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. See the difference?
Yeah, the difference, absolutely. And we've been waiting for this, and we had a full start, I think, because it got a bit cold and chilly, and some people lost their plants in the frost over here. But looks like the better weather is coming for sure now. Spring is on its way. Faro, 19 the high today, and it's looking a lot like that for the next few days, actually, 19s and 18s.
Funny that it's colder in Faro.
Yes, is that normal in springtime? I wonder. Yeah, so
not really. But again, global warming or whatever is happening, things are changing.
Okay, just a few more comments then. From what I understand, Celts existed in Portugal and moved north to populate Brittany, Britain, Ireland. Interesting. The Almendras Cromlech is 2,000 years older than Stonehenge. Were you laughing at my Scottish there? Cromlech, or is that something?
We say Cromlech.
crumlech. So the almendras crumlech is 2,000 years older than Stonehenge. Get you, Ian, with your grasp of the ancient stones of Europe. Is there a point of diminishing returns for daily study? I've heard 20 minutes for language. That's a really good question, Julia. What would you say for people to do on that?
I think that between 20 and 30 minutes is good. And that's, again, a good thing about doing things your own way and at your own pace. Some people just have a bigger threshold and some people have a lower one. Yeah. But yeah, I would say 20, 30 minutes up to maximum of 45 minutes would be my advice. Yes, because after that, your brain just kind of starts shutting off,
Yes.
So
a little and often, which is good advice for in life generally, isn't it?
Exactly.
Certainly with wine. Scottish bagpipes are very different to Northumbrian bagpipes and Galician bagpipes, where bellows, the source of the air, are under the arm. So you pump.
They scare me a little bit, I have to be honest, somehow. I love that sound, but it can also be intimidating at times.
Yes, and all the bagpipe players I've met are very, very interesting individuals. It takes a special kind of person, I think, to play the bagpipes. You need you need a lot of coordination for one thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for all your lovely comments and input. It's still coming in. The Bretons, says Peter, came from Devon. Certainly I did. I've retraced that path. They came from Devon and Cornwall, and the Romans left Britannia. Finisterre is the equivalent of Land's End, though there is an Atlantic culture of Neolithic Celtic people. Peter knows these things, doesn't he? Incredible. We'll have to get him on the show, I think, sometimes. And thanks to everybody who emails me and says, Ian, I got your email. Yes, definitely. You must come and join me. And I think Peter should as well. So we finished today with our bid to twin Birmingham and Porto officially on the Good Morning Portugal show. And we will have a send-off from Mia in a Brummy style. So this is the first thing they want you to say. Adrian Caffrey, who spent some time there. Would you like to have a go at that?
Tara, Bob.
That's great. If I may coach you just a little bit, that would be more of a ta-da, Bob.
Okay. Ta-ra, Bob.
Excellent. This is the reason why you're going.
Oh, mine. I won't be long because I'm going for a bit of dinner.
I won't be long because I'm going for a bit of dinner.
I won't be long because I'm going for a bit of dinner.
Very good. Mia, thank you so much. It's been great. You're back again next month in a monthly residency now, I'm glad to say. So thank you very much. Bon fin de semana. And thanks to everybody.
Bon fin de semana. I was just seeing the last comment. Sorry, I got distracted.
Okay, no, we're not going anywhere. Thanks, Mia. Love to all our brothers and sisters. Hang in there. Cheers, Hank. That's great for you to remind us at the end of the show. Love your lessons, but do each one 3 times due to old age.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Brilliant, Kate. And a simple muito. And from Ian, forza, I think there. Forza from Ian. So thanks to everybody.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. They just keep pouring in there. And thanks, Mia, another one. And
Thank
Mia,
you. Obrigada.
I need to share this with you. Mia, you rock. And we'll put your comments.
Obrigada.
I'll put them up over the exit credits. Mia, have a great weekend. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now.
You too. Adeus. Até logo.